In the vast, unforgiving wilderness of Alaska, where blizzards can swallow the landscape whole, heroes come in all shapes and sizes. But none are quite like Koda, a grizzly bear who became a legend. This isn't just a story about a wild animal. It's a story about courage, sacrifice, and what it truly means to be family. Our story begins with Koda, not as a cub, but as a valued member of the Alaska rescue team. It's a sight to behold a massive grizzly bear working alongside humans. But Koda wasn't just any bear. He was an orphan, found alone and frightened after a brutal snowstorm took his parents. The team that found him didn't just save him, they raised him. He grew up among them, learning their ways, and they, in turn, learned his. He became one of them, a brother in arms, his powerful senses and instincts, an invaluable asset in a land where technology often fails. One winter, the call came in. A group of tourists, including a family with a small baby, had gone missing. They'd been caught off guard by one of the worst blizzards in recent memory. The winds howled like 1,000 angry spirits, and the snow fell so thick and fast it was like a solid white wall. For the rescue team, it was a near impossible mission. Visibility was zero, their GPS was unreliable, and the cold was a physical enemy. Seeping into their bones, slowing their every move, hours turned into a desperate, freezing eternity. The team, disoriented and battling the elements, was on the verge of turning back. It seemed hopeless, but Koda refused to give up. While the humans were blinded, Koda's nose was his compass. He lifted his great head, sniffing the biting wind, his nostrils flaring. Then, with a low growl of determination, he started moving. He had caught a scent, faint and almost lost in the storm, but it was there, the scent of blood. It was a grim sign, but it was also a sign of life. Koda led them through the blinding white chaos, his massive form, a beacon of hope in the storm. The team followed, placing their trust entirely in the bear they called family. Finally, through the swirling snow, they saw it. A small, dark shape, huddled beneath a rocky outcrop. It was the missing tourists. They were alive, but just barely, were exhausted, frostbitten, and a few were injured. The father had a deep gash on his leg, the source of the scent Koda had tracked. Among them was the mother, clutching her baby tightly. But the child was pale and still, its tiny body losing the fight against the lethal cold. Panic set in. They were still miles from safety, and the baby wouldn't survive the journey back in this condition. The medics did what they could, but their supplies were limited. It was in this moment of sheer desperation that Koda did something extraordinary. Walked calmly over to the mother and the baby. With a gentleness that seemed impossible for such a powerful creature, he nudged the mother's arm with his massive head. Then he lay down beside them, curling his enormous furry body around the tiny child. He became a living, breathing furnace, a wall of fur and warmth against the killing cold. The team watched in stunned silence as the bear who could tear a man apart with a single swipe of his paw was now saving a human life with nothing but his body heat. The baby, nestled against Koda's thick coat, slowly began to stir, its pale cheeks regaining a hint of color. Koda's message was clear. We are not giving up. Not now. The immediate crisis was averted, but their ordeal was far from over. The path back to base camp was treacherous, a nightmare of steep, icy slopes. The wind had polished the ice to a mirror-like sheen, making it impossible for the humans to get a foothold. They were trapped. Once again, it was Koda who found a way. He went ahead of the group, onto the slick, dangerous ice. Then he began to dig. With his long, powerful claws, he carved into the thick ice, creating deep grooves, one after another. He was making steps. He painstakingly carved a staircase out of the frozen slope, a path for the humans to follow. It was slow, grueling work. His claws scraped and chipped, and the ice was unforgiving, but he didn't stop. He forged a path where there was none, allowing the exhausted rescue team and the grateful tourists to climb to safety, step by agonizing step. Thanks to Koda's unwavering courage and ingenuity, everyone made it back alive. The tourists were saved, the mission a success. The story of the heroic bear spread like wildfire. Koda wasn't just a local hero, he became a symbol of hope and resilience across the world. To honor his incredible bravery, the people of the town commissioned a statue. It stands there today, a life-size bronze of Koda. looking out towards the mountains. On the plaque, a simple, powerful inscription reads, "Koda, the bear who never runs away." But there was one final, poignant piece to Koda's story, a detail only his human family, the rescue team, understood. They knew that Koda was terrified of snowstorms. The very blizzard that had made him an orphan had left a deep, traumatic scar on him. As a cub, the sound of the wind, the sight of the swirling snow, would send him into a state of panic. He would hide, trembling, until the storm passed. Yet on that day, when others were in danger, Koda faced his deepest fear. He walked into the heart of the very monster that had taken his parents. Why? Because the people on that mountain, the team he worked with, the strangers he saved in his heart, they were his family. He wasn't just a rescue bear. He was a son, a brother, and a protector. He chose to face his own personal blizzard, to save the ones he loved, proving that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but acting in spite of it. Koda the bear who never runs away reminds us all that the bonds of family, no matter how unconventional, can give us the strength to conquer anything. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more incredible stories from the wild. See you next time.